and welcome to the Quincy Access Television Studios. I'm Mark Crosby. Thank you for watching today, Good Deeds, your Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. Joining me, as in episodes past, is the Register of Deeds for Norfolk County, Bill O'Donnell. Bill, welcome back.
Mark, thanks for having me, and great to have the viewers watching and learn a little bit about the Registry of Deeds.
Absolutely. These programs are very informative. I think I had mentioned to you that quite a few towns, in Norfolk County have picked up this program and believe it to be beneficial to their viewers.
Well, it's a big county, 28 communities ranging from the coast, where Quincy and Cohasset are, to Brookline, the city of Boston, down to Rhode Island. You have Rentham, Plainville, Bellingham, and through the Norwoods and the Miltons and out to Needham and Wellesley. So there's 28 communities, a lot of land records, but more importantly, most people, the biggest asset they have is their home, and that's hopefully they pick up a little information on each of these episodes. And today I think it's very relevant because we're dealing with fraud and things that could jeopardize someone's title to their home. And I think it's important to remember the Registry of Deeds, the core mission is to record land record documents. These land documents get recorded, and our mission is to do it safely, efficiently, securely, accurately, and make these records accessible. So the community land records are accessible, to professionals like lawyers and title examiners and engineers, but also to the public, to people that want to use the registry, whether they want to look up their deed or find out if they have a homestead. So we have all kinds of documents that are available over the internet, or if they come by 649 High Street in Dedham, where the Registry of Deeds is located. But I think people like the idea of protecting their home, and what does the registry have to do with that? And for me, some of my life experience, I was an assistant district attorney prosecuting crime here in Norfolk County. So I've taken a broader view of what the Registry of Deeds should be doing. Yes, we should do our core mission, which I just outlined. But one of the things I wanted to do was to try to, minimize the potentially negative effects of fraudulent activity. And at the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds, we have what's called the Consumer Notification Service. And it's available free. It's available for people to sign up free. And you might say, well, what is it? And why do you have it? Well, I'll tell you why we have it is the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is saying that property fraud and mortgage fraud are the fastest growing white-collar crimes in America. And we've seen in other jurisdictions, haven't seen it in Norfolk County here in Massachusetts, but in other jurisdictions, in California, out in Illinois, in Pennsylvania, where steps were taken, where fraudulent documents were recorded, and it jeopardized people's properties and the title to people's homes. So that's the why. We live in a society where we're all vulnerable to scams. And any one of us could have a scam or be a victim of fraud. So this Consumer Notification Service is a way to at least let the homeowners, let the property owners in Norfolk County know what's going on with respect to their title. And
for folks to sign up, how do they do that?
Well, what you can do, you can go to our website, www.norfolkdeeds.org, and there's different banners, and one of them is services. If you hit the services button, it will say Consumer Notification Service, and when you go on that page, it will outline what it's about, and you could sign up for alerts. And I tell people, I'm very proud of the Consumer Notification Service because the Norfolk Registry of Deeds was one of the first registries to have this service available. And even today, we've been doing it for years, and today, there's 21 registries across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There's only a few registries that have this Consumer Notification Service. So if you sign up, and I'm tasked with overseeing the operation of the Registry of Deeds, but I can tell people I'm a member. I have signed up for the Consumer Notification Service. And how it works is you get emails. And sometimes these emails are relatively short. But you get an email, you sign up for an email, and this is a sample one. It's as simple as an email where I get an email, and luckily I see it. It says check the book and page. This document got recorded. Well, there's a lot of William O'Donnells, and I like that. It's broad-based. Well, so far it's sent me emails about deeds, about mortgages, about mortgage discharges, and other liens. But luckily, it involves other William O'Donnells. And I look it up, and it's not my property. Now, I tell people the story. My dad climbed poles for the Boston Edison utility poles. He was a lineman for 38 years, and he said, remember, a lot of people aren't very good on the computers. So if you sign up for this service, you can always call our customer service center at 781-461-6101 if you want to get any help, and guidance, because you get this email and maybe you're not as good on the computer. Now, I believe that when it comes to protecting my home, that getting an email is a small inconvenience. And the reason why I say that is, you get a lot of emails, but think about it. This email deals with the biggest asset I have, which is my home. So when I've signed up, I get this email. Well, luckily it doesn't involve the deed to my house or a mortgage, but maybe when I'm going to get a notice someday, and it says, I'm looking and go, wait a minute, that's the deed to my home. I never signed that deed. Or, wait a minute, that's a mortgage. Someone's borrowing money on that property. I didn't sign that mortgage. Now, I want to be clear. Our Consumer Notification Service does not prevent the fraud. But you can get on it right away. Because I look at my parents, how many times do you think they looked up their title? Or how many people even now, they don't look up their title. They buy the property, they assume the lawyers do all the work, they look up the title. This is a way to get a notice about something that's being recorded against the title of your property.
Right, it's a notification service. So again, once you're notified, it's up to the consumer to pay attention to the email.
Right, but without this service, people just go by blissfully. No one checks their title. So you're right. It's a notification service. I think it's well worth doing because we've also have links on our website to the law enforcement agencies. So you want to reach out to them. Probably going to have to involve an attorney because even though you're a victim, and I saw it when I was in the district attorney's office, you're like, why? I'm a victim, but as victims, sometimes you have to fight for your interests. And one of the things you're going to have to do is fight this fraud and to make sure that, you take steps to protect the biggest asset you have, which is your home. So that if you get this notification and suddenly you're looking and it's, wow, that this involves my home, we haven't prevented the fraud, but now you've got notified right away.
Right, so you need to take the next step.
Yeah, as I say with fraud's not like fine wine. It doesn't get better with age. You got to get on it right away, and you got to take the steps to protect your property. And I'm glad we're having this talk because we've gotten I've gotten letters and phone calls, a lot of people, out there, a lot of consumers, a lot of residents here in Norfolk County, they're seeing ads on the TV where they can sign up with a private corporation that they will monitor your title. And I'm not going to make any comments on that, but I know it's for a fee, and I'm told it could be $180 a year. But what I'm saying is this consumer notification service that we have in Norfolk County predates, any of these ads which have been on recently. So if I was a consumer, it's up to them. They can certainly sign up with a private corporation, but when I grew up, free was good. So this is a free service, and you can sign up and get that notification for real estate property in Norfolk County. So, because a lot of people say, well, should I sign up? And if they want to sign up with a private corporation, they can.
But the private corporation pretty much is doing the same thing.
Somebody, again, I'm making assumptions on their business model, but I'm assuming they're monitoring what gets done at the registry. All I know is, we're pretty instantaneous because we're at the registry, so we see right away what documents get recorded, and so that's part of our system. We utilize the information that gets recorded and then timely get a notice out to the Consumer Notification Service that, hey, something in the name of, like I say, William O'Donnell. I happen to be William, P. O'Donnell, but I get notices as be a William J. O'Donnell, or it could be a William O'Donnell, but a different town. And I don't mind looking that up. I like it being broad-based, and as I say, someday, if it is my property, I'm going to get on it right away. And I want to give people some assurances, though, because people get nervous. Oh, I'm going to lose my house. And I try to tell them, I haven't seen this fraud in Norfolk County, but it's out there. It's only a matter of time. But under Massachusetts law, I want to be clear to the consumers and to the viewers out there, a fraudulent deed does not convey property. It's a fraudulent deed. So if someone fraudulently signs your name, and again, I mean, you see some of this in Norfolk County, but usually it's among family members signing, relatives, and capacity issues, and relatives fighting about money. I'm talking about someone as a part of a criminal enterprise is fraudulently signing your name to a deed or fraudulently signing it to a mortgage. I want people to know, under Massachusetts law, a forgery is not a good deed. So it's void. And now if someone borrows money against, using that fraud, it's void. If some institution started foreclosing on that property because the money that was borrowed, which was all illegally borrowed, again, it reverts back to the deed was fraudulent. So all these things that are going on, typically if you don't pay your mortgage, you can be foreclosed on. Well, it's all goes back to a bad act, a fraud. So under Massachusetts law, a fraudulent deed, it does not convey good title. But as a consumer, I'm going to face some hassles. There's no doubt about it. But I'd rather face them head on and right away. I'm going to have to. I certainly would reach out to the very fine law enforcement authorities we have in Norfolk County. But I would also get proactive and hire an attorney so that I start straightening out and proving, hey, wait a minute, I didn't sign that deed, or that's my name on a mortgage, but that's fraudulent, and I didn't sign it. That must be a false notary. I'd have to do some legwork to track down who the notaries were, or it might have been a forged notary as well. So I think it's important that people know it's a difficult situation, but it's not insurmountable, and it's worth it because it's your property. You got to take steps to protect it.
Well, very good. We are going to talk about something else you just hinted toward, and you spoke of in the previous topic discussion, and that is the deed and how to obtain copies of your deed.
Well, I think it's important to know, first of all our documents back to 1793. We still do it the old-fashioned way. We have the books. But we also have the internet. So at www.norfolkdeeds.org, if you want to look up your information, it's as if you're opening the book at 649 High Street where the registry is located. You can look up your information, look up your deeds. I always say, if you ever want to get copies, check our website. We're in all 28 communities, whether it's at the town hall doing office hours or being invited by community service groups from the Rotaries to the Lions Clubs, and we've been at senior centers, where when we're out there, we can print a copy of your deed, and it's for free. We just print it. Now, if you want to contact our customer service department and get a copy, and sometimes people want it certified, and I tell you, when you see us at the office hours or with the community groups, we certify it for free. There is a cost, technically $1 or $2, depending on how many pages, $1 a page, and it probably is a timely segue into sometimes what's going out there is deed scams. So if you need a copy of your deed, come to the Registry of Deeds, contact our customer service center, or just check the schedule, and when you see us, we bring the registry on the road. We'll print the documents for you. But what you don't want to do is fall prey to some of the scams that are going on. There's some variations, I call it a deed scam. One of the deed scams is they send you a letter. This certified letters go out, sometimes emails, where they're telling people you need a certified copy of your deed, and they make a very compelling case. And you go to their website, and they're saying your kids can't get into school without a certified copy of your deed. You need this for your certified copy of your deed. Having a certified copy of your deed is good. But believe me, when you go to sell your home, the real estate professionals are going to look up the information. But if you want a certified copy of your deed, come to the registry directly, because this group, for $59.50, $60 was getting people certified copies of their deed. And I get it. You wouldn't think you couldn't get up in the morning without a certified copy of your deed based on their letter or based on going to their website. But believe me, don't pay $60 for something that you can come to the Registry of Deeds directly, and you're not paying us $60 for that certified copy of your deed. So I call it a deed scam. The attorney, a couple of attorney generals have looked at it and have put consumer notifications out. The Secretary of State has done the same thing, putting consumer notifications out. Look, don't fall prey to this, because it may be legal. No one reads the fine print in the letter. I think it's unconscionable. I think it preys on people. And I think the best thing is shows like this, where you get the information out directly to the people in Norfolk County. Do not pay $60 to get a certified copy of your deed based on these solicitations. And the reason why it's good to bring that up is I have an article. The Boston Herald did a story on this about, do not fall prey to this scam. And WBZ Radio did a show on it. Yet it still is happening. And at least they got you a certified copy of your deed. There's another variation of the deed scam, and this is a more recent one. There's a California company. They send it out to people. It looks like a tax bill. It looks like a real estate bill. And for $86. And the reason this came to my attention, a lot of times attorneys were coming up to me saying, some of my clients are getting this bill, and they're bringing it to us, and it's not a tax bill, but it looks like one, and it says for $86 they'll get a copy of your deed. Well, they're getting a copy of the Registry of Deeds from the Registry of Deeds, and they're charging you $86. And some people, especially, there's a lot of people, they pay their bills. They see a bill, oh, it's a bill. I'm just going to write the check, and for $86. So at least the first scammer gave you a certified copy of your deed, which is good. This company doesn't even send you a certified copy. They just, mail you off a copy. So again, the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, they're aware of this, and they've put consumer notifications out to people because, technically, again, the devil's in the detail. No one reads that small print where they say this is a solicitation. And I find this scam is as unconscionable as the first one. It's it shouldn't happen. It's preying on people. It's taking advantage of people. So if you need information, come to the Registry of Deeds at 649 High Street. Visit us virtually at www.norfolkdeeds.org. Call our customer service center at 781-461-6101, or email me directly at registerodonnell@norfolkdeeds.org, and we'll try to, get you what you need, and so you don't fall victim to a scam.
Now, what about on the website, the records database? Is it available from that part of the Registry of Deeds website?
Oh, yeah.
Printable. It wouldn't be certified.
No. The thing is, we still. There's a business component of it. You can print documents, and you can print it. A lot of times, though, our professionals, they put accounts. There's $1 a page, and as I tell people, it's a government entity, and I may get elected as a Democrat, but I run it like a Republican. I run it like a business, people recognize that's how I've operated. So there are some charges, but as I said, when we go out there, there isn't. And I recognize people can go on the website and look the documents up, but we have a lot of accounts where business owners, lawyers, engineers put money in an account and print off it for the documents. But it's there, and certainly we will assist in any way. But go on our website, because all that information is there back to 1793, and I guess we're very proud that Internet Land Record Research, and to have everything on back to 1793. Again, a great staff, and that we were able to do that.
So basically, what you're saying is that getting a copy of your deed through the registry, you're basically only paying for the paper that it's printed on.
Well, there's a statutory charge of $1. At times, I think with anything, people can, copy things, and maybe they're not paying for it. But bottom line is, yes, and that's why when the Herald took this picture, they had me holding $2, saying, "Hey, it's $2 versus paying $60
or $80."
But as you got to remember, as the internet has gone on, I recognize people can go online and try to download things, and probably can download things, but there is a statutory charge. But we waive that charge when we're out there at the, for the certified copy of the deed. We waive that when we're out there with, at the town halls and with the community groups or at the senior centers.
Just some frequently asked questions about deeds in general. My mortgage is paid off. What happens to the deed at that point? Well,
that's a great question, because a lot of times people think of it, we're all proud of when our children graduate high school or college and you get a nice certificate. And we have people coming like, okay, where's my certificate? I've paid off my mortgage. It doesn't work that way. When you bought the house, a deed was recorded. That is the deed to your house. It never changes unless you have taken steps to make it change. You might have added another child to it or whatever. That is your deed. So people come in saying, wait, I didn't get a copy. I didn't get the deed from my bank. Well, I guess the bank had certain rights to your property, because we all have to borrow money to pay for our purchases. But once that mortgage gets paid off, what the bank usually does, the lender usually returns the note you signed, which was I'm borrowing X amount of dollars, and they usually record, they send you a copy of, a duplicate copy of the mortgage that got recorded. What you want to make sure is either they send it to you, or they record it timely, the mortgage discharge, which tells the world that debt was paid off. And I know that was one another episode we had. That's very important. But a lot of people look for a copy of their deed when the bank sends them the mortgage. They won't have that. The deed, your deed is the deed. When it was recorded, my parents moved to Norwood. They bought a house in 1959. That's their deed. And there are title issues with the deed. When you borrow money, there's a mortgage that gets recorded later, and that's a title problem. If you're going to sell the house, of course you got to pay off the mortgage. But if you paid it off, you want to make sure the mortgage discharge tells the world that was paid off, so that title, that little defect on your title, or that lien against your property, well, you had a lien, but it got taken care of. Some people might have gotten in trouble with their town and owed some taxes, and the town started doing tax titling. Well, tax title to go after that. Well, if you took care of business and paid it off, you want to make sure there's a release. So these releases, these mortgage discharges, they end up clearing up your title. Some people might have, owed money and an attachment was put on their property, but then they paid off the debt. Well, you just want to make sure documents get recorded. Sometimes you have to get them from the court that say, oh yeah, that case I had has been taken care of. So you always have your deed. That's your deed, but things happen subsequently. You have to borrow money to put your kids through college, or you got in trouble and you had a lawsuit against you. You got to make sure those are taken care of, so that when you go to sell your property or you go to refinance, that those title issues are taken care of, and you don't get that last minute call from the closing attorney saying, we have a title issue here, and you got to straighten it out, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Another question: if I inherited my property, will I have a deed in my name?
It depends. And as I say, I was very proud to be an attorney here in Massachusetts. sometimes you'll get one, and sometimes you won't, because sometimes when you inherit a deed, it all goes through the probate court. That's a separate entity. And people go, where's my deed? Well, they have to go to the probate court to kind of see, oh, the will was allowed. You know, when my relative died, they said that I own the property. Well, you got to show all that. The will got allowed. There was a decree from the judge saying you own the property. So you could wait, and you know, when you go to sell it, you refer back to that will. Other times there is a deed, because I know that was kind of my practice as an attorney. I always had the executor issue a deed, you know, just so, you know, people want to see something in writing, and it got recorded at the registry, and it, of course, referenced everything that went on in the probate court. So if you inherited property, it depends how it was done, and it depends how they did it. But technically, you might own that property, and there's no deed recorded because you inherited it, and it's all at the probate court. Other times, again, I think a lot of attorneys would get a deed recorded from the executor showing the intent of the person that died, and also it has to get okayed by the court, and then it gets recorded, and there's actually something there that someone can refer to at the registry of deeds, and refer to it when they go to sell the property.
What about adding a name or changing a name on a deed?
Yes, that can be done, and people might say, well, in some ways it seems easy because a deed is a 1 or 2 page document. Oh, I'm just going to add a name. I always tell people, listen, when I have plumbing problems, I hate paying a plumber, but you know what? I do it because they're professionals, and I will probably make things worse if I'm doing the work.
And your family's thankful.
Yes. You know, I should have watched my father a little more than when I was younger to learn how to be handy. Oh God, yeah. We're joking, but I think people should consult a professional, because you could think, oh, I'm just adding a name. Well, if you put it as jointly, it means if someone dies, it goes to the person left over. If you put it as, oh, in common, it means it's 50-50. So if the person dies, that section has to go through probate court. So there's a lot of consequences, including tax consequences. So people may want to talk to professionals, CPAs, accountants, you know, estate advisors. There's always consequence. So it's very easy just to throw a name on, you know, and sometimes people do it. We've seen a husband and wife. They only have one child, and they end up writing a deed out, and they sign it and add their child to the deed. But that has a consequence, because you may think you're doing it for the right reasons, but now that's an asset of the child. So now that young adult gets into a car accident, that's an asset that they can go after. So there's all kinds of consequences. So people can do it. I've seen people try to do it on their own. I would suggest they either contact the Norfolk County Bar Association for a referral, or you know they must know a local attorney, real estate attorney, and get some advice before they do it, and maybe have that attorney draw up the deed, because again, it's the biggest asset you have, and you want to make sure you do it right.
Well said. Well, we've come to the end of this particular program. Another great episode, a lot of information out there for folks.
Yes, great. And it's great. And there's a lot of information on the Registry of Deeds website, and it's a privilege to be the registrar, and a privilege to serve the communities and to the residents of Norfolk County. And if you need any information, contact us.
Great. Well, thanks again, Bill. It was a privilege to have you on Quincy Access TV.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for watching. Please remember to support your local community access station. Take care.